It is it's the 9 p.m. offering. I am Pugs Moran. He's James Parker. And together, we are the Kusum Twosome, known as Pugs and Parker. All right. I have no idea where E is. E did about an hour and a half with me this afternoon, just popped into the old high noon show, which, by the way, you're always welcome to do. I know that you have access to jump on whenever you want. Yeah, everyone just jump on in, please. E did that today. Spent a good hour. First segment went a little bit longer because, James, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but Emil tends to wax a little poetic and maybe go on and he tells a story. And, so the birthday segment was a little longer than normal today because of that. How are you, James?
Yeah, I'm great. The frustrating part about Emil is in person, in real life, he doesn't do that. He only does it when it matters. Like telling a pithy, quick story and getting to the point.
Right. Pithy is not his thing. He's not pithy. He's very contemplated. He's very considered. And now he's here with us. So let's bring him on and let's not talk about him behind his back. Ladies and gentlemen, E.
Very, very considered.
Yeah, James, go ahead. You fill him in. I got a dog barking outside the studio door. Hold on. Let me let her in.
I don't even. Y'all are two of my best friends on planet Earth, and I don't know what the living situation is. What is going on with y'all?
The living situation.
Like, where are you?
Oh, where am I and where is he in terms of where am I living and where is he living?
So, hang on. I think we're skipping ahead for the poor people watching. My wife and her friend crashed at Emil's house, on Friday.
What? There's no why is that a question mark?
Well, I mean,
what's your question? He's right here. What is the question mark? This is his house.
I know it's his house, but he doesn't.
Oh, because he's not living here except for me. I'm doing a show and living in a spare bedroom. Yeah,
but you're not in the back anymore. Now they stayed up in the upstairs room instead of in what was Ed's room, and your studio's in the walk-in closet upstairs.
Yeah, they got the master bedroom.
Cool.
Is that not where I should have put him? I thought I was giving him the best spot.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was very, look, I felt bad. Any shelter from a storm, you don't need to make that 2-hour ride back to Tyler. They can crash here, but there was nothing for them. There were no accommodations. And I was, interestingly enough, already in bed. By the way, thank you so much to Monique, who I always call Simone, because I know a Monique and Simone back in Chicago. And I always get them confused. She was terrific in that I go to bed kind of early by people who know me standards. I used to stay up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Now I'm usually asleep by 11:15, 11:30. She didn't make me wait. She was early. You know what I mean? And I was willing to wait. I was like, I can stay up till midnight or whenever they're done having fun. I can let them in. It wasn't a problem. But the fact that she was early, I was like, well, all right now. I can go to bed. I don't have to worry about it. They were quiet. The dog never even knew that they were here. No, it was one. I just felt bad about the accommodations because,
I apologize. I forgot to even ask, but I'm glad, at least the building itself was still standing when they got there. I've removed everything from the premises. I guess that's what James is confused by.
Yeah.
Why is the structure just entirely empty?
Yes.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on.
Well, I mean, are you talking publicly about that?
But yeah, I don't care.
I don't know. I mean, your personal business.
Well, no, I mean, excuse me. I think for a while, COVID had me, in a situation where I wasn't being very social. I couldn't promote my art studio, the art business. You couldn't have gallery openings, things and stuff like that. So
hey James, this is what we were talking about when we said you asked him why is his house empty, and he's going to COVID. He's starting at COVID. Okay, go ahead.
Well, let me start. During COVID, I couldn't promote my gallery.
no way to tie in your 8th grade graduation into this story. You don't want to start from the fact. We were talking before you joined us about how I was so happy to have you on the noon show. And I said, James, you ever want to jump in the noon show? Come on. And then I just jokingly said, I go, the birthday segment took an hour and a half because, you know, me and Emil got to talking and, you know, it kind of went a little longer than usual. And so
I try to give you every thought process when you're asking, because you're about to judge my insanity as to how is it that a house like that is sitting vacant and what the hell is going on with it. I get that question. I understand.
I think you just wanted to know, are you selling it? Are you rehabbing it?
No, I've decided I'm going to rehab it. I've decided I'm going to rehab it.
Which I'm telling you, man, this house is amazing. Now it needs to be gutted, it needs to be rehabbed. But the more that I've read about this house and about the fact that it's a 1938, and everybody thinks it was built in the 60s. You know, everybody thinks this was like I'm like, yeah, it's a cool space house, man. So this is kind of something unique that I think you fell into. And I know you.
Well, it's not unique that I fell into. Honestly,
it's a work of art.
Honestly, when I moved in originally, I was renting it. Okay. And if you remember, that's when you came down because I said, hey, you know, I found a spot. This is where I want to be. And so this house I had my eye on for a number of years because it just had an iconic look to me, contemporary look. I had no idea that it was famous architect and all that nonsense. I picked it out.
It apparently needed in the cellar because I think you got a deal probably.
So then I saw that it became available and then I leased it. I got on the phone to you. I remember immediately and I was like, hey dude, you can come down here. I've got a spot for you.
This again. This is the storytelling art. James would like you to be pithier. we don't need this. We don't need to go all the way back into this.
Well, okay.
James, I mean, am I?
So then I purchased it, you know, and I was like, hey, I liked it. I thought I was going to remodel it at some point in time. And now is the point in time that I've decided to remodel it.
Yeah, Ed says the tree in the back needs to go. I'll tell you, man, you make a move on that tree, and I'm calling the tree people. I'm calling the tree police. I'm going to say that there is this gorgeous 200-year-old tree, and there is a madman with a chainsaw. Get out here.
Well, I've
the tree can be altered.
I've went back and forth on the tree. I have went back and forth on the tree,
and where do you stand on the magnificent
I've come to
tree?
a new decision on the tree.
We have a magnificent tree in the backyard. It is probably 200 years old. It is gigantic. It is glorious. What is your decision on the tree?
It is glorious, except for the person living in the back house. If the branch were to come off,
that was me.
They may end up crushed to death. But in the remodel plans, at current, the tree exists.
Glory be to God. Glory be to God and his great creations. That tree is gorgeous. Needs to be trimmed. We need to take some of them limbs off.
The limb which goes over towards your guest house.
That is supported. Hold on. That is supported by cables. It is supported
by a cable.
Which suggests that there was a time in the not too distant past when that tree arm was about to crush the house where someone was living in. So they know that it's dangerous because it's all cabled up.
Yeah, the fact that it's tethered to another part of the tree.
That's kind of a red flag, isn't it?
Indicates to me that there may be something that we need to deal with, and then so yeah, but
in the crop or something.
You know, it's become a little bit more frequent, if I must admit.
Well, you know, you own a weed farm now,
so, but yeah, the tree will exist. Yeah, I'm really excited about it too because it's, you know, it's exciting now to not have a home attachment to it and to look at it as an object that needs to be improved. and then ultimately what will raise the market value of it to where now I can go,
now I got a cool ass house.
I think I might sell this.
I mean, it hadn't been upgraded probably since the 1970s, but it was 1938, and it's probably 20 years past a complete remodel. And you're going to remodel it. You're going to restore it to its former grandeur, its Gatsby-like origins.
I'm just so excited from the preliminary plans that I've seen, working with the architectural firm that we're about to sign with, and the builders that I'm now involved with in the transaction. I'm really excited. I've never been in a venture as a guy that's been part of a building group. So this is going to be a fun venture, but I think the property itself, because of it and the fact that it's inside the top 100 historical homes in Highland Park, it's a good jumping off point. It's a scary jumping off point because there's a lot of people that love that house and are going to pay attention to what's done with it. And so it's going to be, one of these sink or swim projects. But, you guys know me. When am I ever afraid of that?
Yeah. He was born rolling the dice. James, why don't you tell us what you got on deck here? What's going on in your world?
All right, this is a local story. Well, I mean, it's not. I don't live in Dallas, but nothing happens in Bug Tussle, so I love keeping up with Dallas and New Orleans and Houston news. Man, there's enough there to give me plenty of topics here. But this one comes from Dallas, and my neighbors have a story here that I don't want to say like it's admirable or it's noble or I approve of it whatsoever. But I'm gonna put the little positive twist on it. Like what would Jesus think? So Dallas man kills woman he used to talk to after girlfriend told him to smoke her.
Well, what is talk to? Talk to is a modern
get with.
We used to say going with or going out with or something like that, right? I mean, your girlfriend.
Well, talk to has some implications is that it's beyond platonic, and while you haven't hooked up or smashed or any other euphemism, you were talking with the intent of something romantic possible.
Oh, so talk to doesn't mean you have smashed?
Well, I think it can. I think it means maybe you have, but it means you weren't in a serious relationship, but you have some sort of romantic entanglement in your histories together.
Right. And so, look, this headline is actually, we like to beat up the media because they suck and they're lazy about writing vague headlines.
Yeah, we're media, right? I just every time someone on radio shits on media, I'm like, you realize you're the problem too. But go ahead, continue.
Oh, dude, I'm one of the worst.
So,
right. So, this headline is exactly what it sounds like. There's a dude off Malcolm X Boulevard and something or other. It sounds like it's not too far from Deep Ellum, but it's that direction from Deep Ellum. And so these chicks were in an argument, and they were arguing because this one chick used to talk to the boyfriend of the chick that was on the other side of the argument. And so what happens is it escalates, and they kind of go ahead. What?
Are we on the side of talk to means you have?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It means there's a relationship.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter. He probably banged her, sure, but it wasn't a serious relationship. They were just talking to each other.
It speaks to the level of crazy of both of them.
Okay, it's somebody, someone from his past. Let's just put it that way. It's a woman from his past.
But chicks get
how recent
if you slept with another girl than if you just had interest in another girl. Agreed. They're jealous. But if you have slept with the other girl over just looked at the other girl, there's another level of jealousy.
James? Yeah, we know it's not the same level of jealousy, but neither one of those levels justifies getting shot and killed, Emil. That's the point. That's why me and Bucks are going. It doesn't matter. That's an inconsequential detail on whether he's smashed or
Right.
not.
It doesn't matter.
I know it. I know it's a much more grievous offense than just talking, but not. It doesn't rise to the level of bullets. So I don't think they smashed, but maybe they did. So the girlfriend looks at this, the boyfriend, and says, "You're gonna let her talk to me like that? You need to smoke her." And the boyfriend said, "Okay." And he pulls out his gun, and she tries to get the hell out of there. She's in a car, and he shoots her 3 times. He shoots 3 rounds through the window, hits her. The girl who was being talked to, not the current girlfriend, but the maybe former side piece, has another friend there who jumps in the passenger seat, drives her to the hospital, but it's no avail. She dies at the hospital. And here's the noble twist on it. If my wife walked up to me right now and said, "I have a big problem with that person over there, you need to smoke her," I don't know if I'd do it. I'd like to think I'm a ride or die kind of husband, and I'd be down for my wife for whatever, but I'd be like, "Hey, hang on a second. Let's talk this out a little
You'd have
bit."
some questions about that.
Yeah.
You'd have some pause over just murdering someone sight unseen for your wife. James, you get your ass down to a divorce lawyer and you leave your wife 30 seconds after she asks you to murder someone for her. What's the matter with you?
Well, I'm not. It's a no, but it's not a hard no. Like, can we make a T chart or something?
He said it's not a hard no.
The only reason it's not a hard no is because he's a pussy. That's it. That's the only reason it's not a hard no.
If I'm in a relationship with somebody who demands that I murder someone, I'm not in a relationship with that person the next day, whether it's a wife or anything. Come on.
I mean, I would have been a little bit more sympathetic. Like, if I had done the dirty deed with the girl and she said, "Well, I want you to murder her," I could, in my mind, justify that being a little bit more painful for her to withstand than me just talking to her. It seems like she's a little bit more injured if in fact I have shared my pleasure of sleeping with her and you at the same time. So
you're in a relationship with a monster.
I agree.
In a relationship with a murderous fiend.
I agree, but first impression, if she was like, "Oh, smoke her," I could understand her being so enraged because that I had been with that other person. I then immediately would kick back from that, James, and I would say, "No, are you nuts? Like, that's
you're kidding, right?
That's like insane."
Yeah. Well, old whatever T-Bone or whatever his name was, he he's good to his woman, and we focused on her. Let's focus on the dude. The dude.
How do you smoke somebody?
So he just kills someone that frivolously, that and someone that he's actually got some kind of a connection to, someone that he used to talk to. He's just gonna end their life. Talk about having zero respect for human life.
See, well, I would have taken that smoke as something else. Like, not smoke in an actually like killer. I'd have maybe like grabbed a joint and ran over there and smoked with her, or maybe jumped on her and started smoking it that way. But why's it got to be killing her? I mean, you got other options if you're the husband than pulling out a gun. I mean, okay, I did sleep with her. Like, why do you want to kill her? I did talk to her. Why does that piss you off?
All agreed. However, I would just like to please allow me the nuance to when I say it's not a hard no. I just need more information, because I know it's not likely. I know it's not probable, but it is possible that Monique could be caught up in some sort of Cape Fear situation where she sent some innocent man to prison.
This is possible. You're saying that this is possible.
And why we are
the mother of your children.
There's a guy coming to kill my wife, and she's like, "Hey, you need to smoke that dude." And we had the discussion. There was a T-chart made. He's coming to kill me.
And we've also had a discussion.
Someone for my wife. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it this easily.
But I
have a no murder conspiracy rule with my relationships. I don't. You don't have that. That's not a deal breaker.
No,
murder conspiracy is not a deal breaker.
Right.
Well, it's not murder; it's self-defense.
Right, in theater of the mind, and I'm going to do this with the chat room. If you were to be dropped into one of these boxes, the Pugs box, the E box, or the James box, and there was somebody that was going to react on smoke them, the box you would be most concerned about being in is the James box. Because the James box nightly has a gun being twirled around in it.
Yeah, he's more likely to actually kill somebody.
Right.
He's an irresponsible gun owner.
Right. So that guy not having a hard no immediately, okay, the radar for Pugs and I goes up because we're like, wait a minute. The guy that's the gun toter, that's capable of doing the smoking, is the one that has to be reminded why there is a hard no. And that is the problem with why everybody should not have a damn gun.
James is feeling very uncomfortable with this. I think we need to allow him a...
Oh no, I'm wildly comfortable with this because everybody watching knows that y'all are being intellectually lazy, and there is such thing as a scenario, as fantastical as it may sound, where it's not a hard no. There are what if you come up on like you walk in the room and you happen to be like, I just handed you the gun I twirl every night, and some guy has a gun that's pointed at someone that you love and it's like, hey, I guess I'm about to kill them, and they go, could you please like smoke this guy? Yes, you would smoke the guy.
Talk about being disingenuous. Yeah, you are moving the goalposts completely to the other side of the field. Now you are describing a situation where a madman is taking my family hostage, and you're trying to say it's the same situation as my girlfriend going, you need to kill your ex-girlfriend. Come on. That's not even close.
That's not the point I made. That's not the point I made. The point I'm making is there's this situation, which we all agreed that this guy was wrong to do what he did. And then there's the ultra obvious situation where it's a self-defense and she asked you to smoke someone because it's a righteous kill and not just a cold-blooded murder over some goofy jealousy thing. Now, within that spectrum, where's the boundary? We don't get to
decide if it's a righteous kill. What are you talking about? Like, she gave you a good reason. There's a good reason that she gave you for killing your ex-girlfriend or whatever. There's a good reason. She came up with a good reason.
You don't... Is there
so
ever
you can go hunt them because you now have a good reason? You can now go murder somebody. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying, what if it is a self-defense scenario? There's a self-defense scenario where it's okay to kill somebody. Okay,
and self-defense changes the rules. Self-defense changes everything. This was not self-defense, and you're trying to make a case for this being acceptable.
No, I'm not making a case for this being acceptable. I'm saying that the case under which my wife said, "Hey, you need to smoke that dude." It's different than this scenario, but it does exist. Okay, well, it's not a 0% chance that I would say okay. This isn't it, but it does exist.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance anyone could say, "Hey, would you go kill this person?" And I'd go, "Okay." No, there's 0% chance.
Really? What if they just reincarnated Hitler and he's about to round up the gang?
now we're living in some mystical world.
Fanatical.
Well, I think that my morals might be slightly changed if I exist in a completely different universe. We'd have to see how that plays out when I get there. But no, I wouldn't kill him. No, I wouldn't kill him. If my wife said, this man raped me 10 years ago, you got to go smoke him, I'd go, no, we got to go to the police department. I wouldn't just go kill him.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either in that scenario. Okay. Emil?
Well, I think this brings up the interesting rabbit hole of self-defense. Mm-hmm. So, James, what is your position on nuclear weapons? Like, do you think all countries should be able to possess nuclear weapons?
I think we should behave as if all countries either have them or will soon, on a long enough time scale, get them.
Right.
But
like if it were up to you, would you allow somebody to sell a country that didn't have a nuclear weapon?
Yes.
Yeah. So you think that it's okay for the U.S. to equip other countries with nuclear weapon technology, even though they did not possess that technology on their own or couldn't do it on their own?
I wouldn't do it if I was in charge, but I don't think it's unethical for other people who think it would be in our self-interest to do so. They may be wrong, but maybe they think that's what the best line of defense is.
Here, hold on. Let's address this. Jeff Ballard has a direct question for me. He says, Pugs, what if someone beat up your mom and I show you the bar stool and hand you the gun? Okay. So someone beats up my mom. You show me the proof that my mom was beat up, and now you
The
hand me a
bar
gun.
stool. I'm sorry. What's the bar stool?
Yeah, I don't know.
The bar stool that she got beat up with, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really understand that.
No, I'm not murdering someone for that. I'll call the cops and he'll go to jail.
Yes.
And
James, first of all, or
I don't know.
Jeff,
okay.
my mother. Let me address this. It's directly to me. My mother would be appalled if I did anything other than went to the police and did it the normal way. You know why? Because she didn't raise a criminal. That's why my mother raised somebody who knows the difference between right and wrong. So yes, Jeff, that would be a terrible situation, but I would like to think that I would be emotionally in control enough to not just go and murder somebody. Right? I wouldn't lose my shit. It's a tragedy. It's a terrible thing. Look, my father was murdered 50 years ago. My father was murdered. I have not made it my life goal, like I'm in some John Wayne movie, to go find the guy that murdered my dad and hunt him down. It's just life.
Yeah, but you've had the Batman excuse this whole time. You just never jumped on it.
That's true. And he died in prison. So he hasn't really been around. Somebody got to him first. So
and my response to that would be a little closer to James than it would be to Pugs. If somebody told me that my mom got beat up and there was the bar stool that she got beat up with and I had a gun, I don't know that I would care if my mom had raised a dude that just gotten a felony for beating the shit out of the guy with a bar stool.
Yeah, that's different. That's different.
But I'm saying I don't think that would stop me. That would not be the logic where I would go, oh, well, wait, my mom raised me better than this. I think my anger would take me past that thought process. I think I might get there once I sat in jail after I beat the shit out of the guy with the bar stool.
That's a different scenario. Yes.
It's the same scenario.
No, because one is murder and one is just beating the shit out of somebody. The intent is
completely it said different. If somebody beat your...
And a jury would see the intent as completely different.
Well, but I'm saying if somebody beat your mother, I guess, with a bar stool, and then he handed you the bar stool and he handed you the gun, before I called the cops, the guy would probably have gotten rattled with the bar stool a few times that he would not have been happy with the outcome. And then they would have probably taken me to jail. And then maybe I would have thought, oh, well, that wasn't really the way my mom raised me, whatever. But I don't know that it'd stop me from taking the bar stool to his head before I called the cops.
All right. How about this one from Al? This is an interesting.
Is that what we were supposed to respond to? I don't know.
You beat up the guy. That's fine. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Al says, okay, out of the three of you guys, would you consider yourself a leader or a follower? Let me just say this. This is three leaders. This is probably why we fight so much, because I think all three of us would probably categorize ourselves as leaders. You know, I get into a group of 5 people, I start to feel like the leader. I mean, going all the way back to high school, you know, we were going to the party that I found, right? We were going to, you know, and I think, James, you're the same way. I've seen you in groups. Emil is definitely a leader. Emil is definitely get behind me and let's go. That's how I would you guys agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all three have led out in different directions, and right now, you know, yeah, I would agree.
All right, I like this one, Pugs.
From Franny. What up, Franny? Love Franny.
I know, right? I hadn't seen him in forever.
Blast from the past, one of the good ones.
If Pugs' son murdered someone and a witness, no T, said they were going to turn his son on, would Pugs murder that witness to prevent his son from going to prison?
Well, I think what he's saying is turning in. I think turning in. They were going to turn in my son. Yeah.
Of course, I'm being a dumbass. But see, this is why people like watching. This is why you like watching Breaking Bad. This is why you like watching Sopranos or Sons of Anarchy or all these shows where you get yourself into these moral dilemmas and you're like, what would I do in that situation? Would I be able to shoot Gail in the face because Mike's about to kill Walter on Gus's orders and stuff? So yeah, go ahead. No, I love these scenarios, so that's why I like this conversation.
So let me give you this answer. If Pugs' son murdered someone and a witness said they were going to turn his son in, would Pugs murder that witness to prevent his son from going to prison? No, again, because I'm not a murderer. See, I am not going to murder someone. However, my son and I will live happily in Costa Rica. We will wax surfboards for the rest of our lives, and it'll be fantastic. So no, I would not, Francis. I would absolutely.
So, that brings up the natural question that at some point every adult man, especially us alpha men, have to answer is, what's your non-extradition country of choice? Should things go south and we all finally get busted, what is your non-extradition country?
Okay, well,
choice?
I think we need a list of countries that don't extradite, right?
Can I expand on that?
Abel already knows.
Yeah, he's got passports for all the countries that don't extradite.
Yeah.
Go ahead, expand.
No, I was going to say Pugs hire Francis to get rid of the witness.
Yeah, I hire somebody. Okay, so what countries don't extradite to the United States?
I got it, dude. You want me to pull it up over here?
I got it right here. I got it here. But go ahead. So your question was,
you have that in your go bag. That's a list you just print in case whatever you've done for the day turns out.
Holy shit. There are not a lot of good choices here, man. Do I have money, James? James asked which country I would want to reside in if there were
no. You make no assumption of money, but there's a lot of them though. This is good that there's this many.
All terrible, but they are all terrible options.
You got the first question we all have to have is, do any of them speak English? Because that would really narrow my list down to those countries.
Okay, let me look at countries here on the list though. So English is important to you. I think the United Arab Emirates. I think there's a lot of English speakers there. But that's it.
Crap.
That's it.
Damn, that's bad.
So you're looking at
that's real bad.
Dude, like I'm going through this list, and like the places that are on here, there's no extradition.
Yeah.
Probably because there's not anybody there that has a computer.
Nobody wants to go there. That's why there's no extradition. They've never had to work. They've never had to file that paperwork. Nobody has ever gone to Mongolia when on the run from, Kentucky police. It's just
like
not an option.
Yeah. I mean, you're out there in the middle of nowhere and you're like, hold on a minute. You're under arrest. You in what army?
James,
it's like,
James, do you have the list? Why don't you let the chat room know what the list is? What countries don't extradite to the United States?
Oh, well, it's been on the screen for a while here, and I was scrolling through it. Afghanistan, Algeria, Andorra. Well, you know what? That's not a bad one. Andorra. Angola, Armenia. That's not a bad one either. Bahrain, Bangladesh, Belarus. These are all horrible.
Bahrain. So far, Bahrain is by far the top choice. Bahrain.
That's one of those where they can like chop off your hand.
Nope, not if you're Western white and have money. You can live very well in Bahrain. Same with the United Arab Emirates.
To be fair, I had one of my friends from Bug Tussle was in the Coast Guard, and he got sent over to Operation Sea Dragon, and he sent me a billboard from Bahrain for Applebee's.
Look at that. So yes, all right.
Wow.
If the country has an Applebee's, put it on the list. Not that I'd ever go to an Applebee's, but it tells me that there's a little bit more that I might be able to connect with here.
Right. And the local sheikh allowed the filthy American pigs to actually advertise with the billboard. And it's funny because on the billboard, Applebee's is written from right to left and whatever the script is. But the little family that's sitting around the appetizer sampler or whatever, they still have like the bed sheet on their head with the crown, the ring.
Yeah, they're wearing the outfits, the ethnically appropriate outfits
through the looking glass. Applebee's. So from there, we're going to Cambodia, Cameroon. Nope. Central African Republic, Chad.
Oh, God, no.
I know where I'm going.
God, no.
China. I don't know where Comoros is. Comoros. I'm a geography nerd. I don't
Never heard of that. Where are you going? You said you know where you're going. Where?
Yep, I've searched the list and I've got it picked out.
Well, tell us.
Indonesia.
Why?
Yeah, why?
because that's where Bali is.
And you've been to Bali?
I
Okay.
have.
Okay, so he's been there.
That's not a bad answer. That's not a bad answer.
So he knows. That's good. That's a good one.
Bali's not bad. And, Indonesia in general is a horrible place, and in fact, one of the major islands of Indonesia, they have like reinstituted Sharia law, and you don't want to go over there because if you do something wrong, they'll just hit you with rocks until you die.
What country on this list isn't going to hit you with rocks?
They have 2 Four Seasons.
There's every country on this list is going to hit you with rocks for something. What do you do?
Yeah, but in Indonesia they got 2 Four Seasons hotels.
There you go.
Dude.
See,
like,
but again, now here's E, the rich guy. We've already established that money is not.
Well, why else would you be on the run, dude?
Because you've killed somebody. You didn't.
Well, you can't kill somebody and have no money to get on the airplane and get to another country.
Mason chose to commit a murder with a witness while we didn't have our funds in order.
And his rich Uncle E wouldn't loan us $250,000 to go on the lam. So, we're not staying at the Four Seasons Bahrain, Uncle E.
All right, so I'm not going to read this whole damn list, but let me give you the couple of maybe countries that I can see. Number 1, Serbia.
Nope.
They're white. They're a second world country.
Stop. Why is that
Wait a minute. What is white got to do
Mr.
with
Bug Tussle Nazi out there needs to go to a white country. What?
Well, maybe white was the wrong term for it. This seems like one of the countries where they won't kill you with rocks for committing a crime. That's probably what I should have said.
White or like you'd blend in?
Well, I meant white paired with second world country.
What you meant was more Western aligned, more what we'd be used to. Not like
I meant like Eastern European, right? Like people that used to be Soviet, they used to be a communist. They were part of Yugoslavia.
I get the comment of more white being like if you think that you need to blend in order not not to stand
that's
out.
Not what he meant. That's not what he was thinking when he said it. But nice cover.
All right, check out this one. Russia. Why not?
No.
Russia's awful. And I'm an American and I'm a patriot. That's why not Russia. The obvious one, I'm looking at the list too, James. The obvious one for me that jumps out, Kuwait. Why wouldn't you go to Kuwait? Kuwait is a giant shopping mall in the middle of the desert surrounded by a whole bunch of people with money. Worst case scenario, there's got to be some like rich Kuwaiti family that would think it's funny to have like a white guy from Chicago as their butler. I'm going to go get a job like that. There's a lot of money there.
I don't know, dude. That name just has bad juju.
It's the rocks.
Kuwait.
It's the rocks. That you can get killed with rocks. You commit the wrong crime.
Yeah, Kuwait, aren't there going to be like military families that lost their loved ones there?
Kuwait is one of the wealthiest nations on earth. What are you guys talking about?
Technically, like it's more wealthy than the United States.
Right. Am I wrong though in thinking that there are soldiers that died in Kuwait, or is that just like me?
No.
Look,
the original war against Iraq was started because Saddam Hussein wanted to take all of Kuwait's money. That's what happened. Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. Kuwait was friendly with us, the United States, because they're Western there. They have banks and money. So that's how that war started. But Kuwait wasn't involved in the war. They just got invaded. They were just like the rich people hanging out going, we're not worried about all this Middle East stuff. And then Saddam rolled the tanks in. They didn't do anything. Kuwait's actually a pretty good place.
Oh, so they're not mad at Americans there?
No, they love us. We bailed them out. We defended them. We were at war for them.
I don't know. I just feel like anywhere over there, they could get mad at you in a minute.
That's why we go to Kuwait.
I thought we already established the no rock rule where you don't go to any place where you could get killed by rocks.
Yes, but I also think we established that there isn't a country on this list where that isn't a possibility. Every one of these countries.
Serbia doesn't stone you to death for things. And look,
Serbia,
I don't know.
Serbia is just like 10 years out of a civil war that doesn't stop. It keeps going. That is not a stable place to go.
Do y'all know where Andorra is? Do you know what Andorra is? Because I think that is my winning answer for this exercise here.
I have no idea. Let's bring up a picture.
Well, no,
Andorra.
No, hold on. Andorra. Is Andorra in like North Africa? Is it like Spain, that kind of area, part of the world? Where is Andorra?
Andorra is squished on a border.
I'm looking right now.
It's right where I thought it was. Yep, that's where I thought Andorra was. Portugal, Spain, somewhere in there.
Like right there in the
squish
middle?
between Spain and France.
Yeah.
See Andorra right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Good.
Andorra is a crazy little accident of a country that just kind of happens because there was a kingdom that was just between this two separate little mountain ridges in the
So it's
Pyrenees.
snow.
Well, for a big chunk of the year, it's snow. It's got a little bit of elevation there, and it's just
Mountains. Yeah.
yeah, and so there's just this little mountain range that squishes that's sort of the geographic boundary always between France and Spain. But it's also the part of Spain that's not really Spanish. They don't speak Spanish there. They speak Catalan. Now,
Catalonia is the region that
Hmm.
was, for centuries disputed between, and that's what Andorra is now, the old Catalonia region.
well, no, Barcelona is the capital of Catalonia, far and away. I don't know. I just
Were those
James,
Indians of
James,
sorts?
isn't this where
no,
Aquitaine used to be? Isn't this the area of where Aquitaine was?
yeah. So that's South France, and it's a little north of this.
Is it? But it's
Yeah,
in that general area, right?
yeah. I think Aquitaine was this crap over here.
Yeah.
Like Toulouse and all the way over to the Atlantic. Yeah, and so that was part of England for a while because of the War of the Roses or whatever. But so this was interesting because Barcelona and Catalonia, this little area around it, they actually had an independence vote. What was it, like 5 years ago? And it was kind of narrow, but they recently voted to stay part of Spain. I thought it'd be really cool if they had split off because they do have their own language. They do have their own culture, and they've just kind of been.
All right, you've sold me on Andorra, and Andorra seems to be the least rock throwy place that we could go if we needed to. Again, the question was, if we had to go on the run, what country that does not have extradition to the United States would we choose? And James has stumbled across a wonderful one. Andorra seems really nice. Look at how beautiful it is.
Do they have a Four Seasons?
I'm sure they do. Hold on.
Well, I'm not sure, but we're always just a Google search away.
Because normally, if you find a place like that's real remote
Four
like
Seasons
that,
Hotel Andorra. Hold on, I had to ask.
Well, I'm thinking they're going to have some form of lodging if we went on Priceline.
No, I think Andorra is probably a really nice place. I think that it's in an area where
Four Seasons. No.
I mean, Four Seasons doesn't have that many of them that they should be in Andorra. I'm just saying, I wonder what their if there's like a St. Regis or generally all hotel chains will try to find somewhere in a hot spot.
All right, let's see here. He needs luxury accommodations if he's going to be on the run in Andorra. So let's see.
Well, I'd be easily found that way. I might need to rethink that.
See, now look at this.
Like I got to put out that I would be at places like that when I'm really staying at the Dollar Day Inn. Like I'm not gonna let people know exactly where I'm going.
All right, now
hold on. There are some really nice hotels here. There is the Plaza Hotel, which looks freaking amazing. The Andorra Park Hotel. That's a 5-star hotel. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 5-star hotels in Andorra. Not a 4.
There we go. What's the price per night?
Let's see this one. This one on Expedia right now you can get for $232 a night if you want to stay at the Andorra Park Hotel. I don't know if that's US. I guess that's US dollars, right?
You'd think.
Casa Canute. That looks very nice.
Casa Canute, huh?
A lot of nice hotels. Go ahead, James. You're driving us around beautiful Andorra.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Where was I just? So, yeah, this one. So one of the things I liked, I actually worked with a couple guys from Barcelona, and I speak enough Spanish that I speak broken Spanish, and I took 2 years of French in high school, and of course I know English pretty well. And I'm a bit of a polyglot. I try and learn languages whenever I have a chance to be presented with them. And so one of the things I loved about Catalan, it was a mishmash easily of Spanish, French, and Italian. Just totally. That's all it was. And so they would say a sentence, and some words would be from French, some words would be from Spanish. And if I didn't know what the word was, I would have to assume it was Italian. And so I used to love listening to these two guys talk to each other. And this is a good one because they just smash words together and they smash languages together. And you forget, like we have in our mind that there's like this boundary between Spain and France, and here they speak Spanish and here they speak French. But there's there's a gradient. There's like a rainbow of mishmash, and then Italian coming from this way to where the line is not where they stop speaking Spanish and French. There's a gradient where there's this patois between the two, and you get weird signs like this, right? Like pastisseria, granja verde y blanc. So that looks like half French, half Spanish already. And I'm guessing pastisseria would have to be something Italian because I don't recognize that. So
Yeah, the thing to the left to me looks like the Colosseum in terms of a pasta version of the Colosseum, right next to the pastisseria.
I hear you. I hear you. But so
I don't know.
so I don't know, man. I'm sold. If I ever need a non-extradition country, it's Andorra.
They really are not big on siding or like exterior finish. It has a very kind of militant gray concrete feel to it
look,
wherever we're driving
get past it because you're gonna have to spend the rest of your life here. You're never leaving Andorra. You're never. So get past that. Please allow me to show you, ladies and gentlemen, Kuwait City. Look at this place. It's like Oz. Wow. That is Kuwait City. That is like Oz. It doesn't look like that's bomb-ridden.
No, it doesn't have ski slopes, but that is nice.
I don't know. That to me appears like
you can't be
it's gorgeous.
Skyscrapers like that.
It's gorgeous, dude. It just feels like Big Brother is watching from every angle.
It probably is, but you know what? Get over it. You're on the run, dude. You know, you can't be.
No, that's why I can't be in Kuwait. Like, you know, it feels like you're like every structure there came from a sand hill.
No. Look,
what do you mean, no?
No. Look, here's what our problem is.
I don't think the people who built the pyramids have a problem with building structures on sand. I think that they've mastered that. I don't know, 2,000 years ago, James.
I mean, Las Vegas was built on a sand hill.
And those hotels collapse all the time. James?
In truth, I'm going to dig into the depths of both of your subconscious and tell you why you don't want to live in Kuwait. Because they aren't big fans of like females in bikinis or short shorts.
See, I don't need that, James. That's not me. That's not something that I need.
Live life without it. Try living life without it. Try turning on TV and the weather girl doesn't look like.
No, dude. Kuwait is very westernized. They do a lot of business with Western businessmen. There's nice hotel, dude. That's not you're thinking of Oman. Okay, everyone conflates everything in the Middle East as being one giant dirt hole. That's not true. There are actually really nice places all over the Middle East. Dubai is freaking the most amazing city on the globe right now.
Okay, I'm also very pro-lesbian. Do they accommodate lesbians?
No, but neither does Russia. So, you know, you're not going to have much fun over there. What?
So, I bet Andorra does.
Again, we're back to Andorra. I think Andorra is our go-to.
And to clear it up, I wasn't suggesting that you cannot build well on sand. I was the chat room is upset about it. I was just saying that there was no environment.
We're gonna let him get his throat clear. we're gonna let him handle his thing.
We should put up pictures of the crop, man, so people would know what's going on with E's lungs.
There you go. There he is. Look at him.
Oh my gosh.
He's all stoned.
Anyway, the point was that I was trying to say
there was no point. Let's be honest.
There was a point.
There was no point. There was no point. All right, let's move on. James, I got something. Actually, I got something for both you guys. Okay. We talked about this today on the afternoon show. We're running out of time here, so let me just try and do this as quickly as possible.
I have time to get a refill.
Yeah, go get a refill. I'll talk with you about this. You go ahead.
Sorry,
I actually kind of need a refill too. So, after you left us on the noon show today, I talked about a story that is an AI story that was trending today. And it basically just talked about the future of sport, the future of competition, and what's going to happen when AI eventually intersects with the world of sports and competition. The theory in this was that we are, in the not too distant future, all of our sports will not be human based sports, but they will, in fact, be computer simulations or whatever. So that was the idea. And some of the things that they suggested in this is that you got to stop thinking about football, baseball, hockey, and basketball, because we're talking about 100 years from now. Those sports may not even exist. Let's not pretend like those sports have been big forever, because they haven't. Baseball and horse racing was big until the 1960s. Football didn't even really take off in this country until the 1960s. And if you think the NBA has always been big, then I'll remind you, as I did today during the noon show, that when Larry Bird played Magic Johnson in the NBA Finals in 1980, those games were shown on tape delay on CBS at 11 o'clock at night. So the NBA wasn't always what the NBA is. So in 100 years, who knows what we're going to be interested in sports-wise. I mean, we already see kids now who are interested in gaming as a sport, watching other people play video games. So that's kind of what this article was talking about. What happens essentially when the human element is removed from sports? And one of the things that I said was, one of the things that we like so much about sports is that they're based upon our knowledge or our expectation of human limitation. Nobody would buy a pay-per-view where a guy was racing a bullet, right? Because the guy wouldn't beat the bullet, right? A guy is not going to beat a bullet.
Well,
so
I think
expectation, what the human body can actually do. So AI is saying we're going to eliminate that. At some point in the future, we're going to stop being attracted to sports based on the human element. And I thought, whatever, I'll be long dead before this becomes a thing. But I want to show you something that I have discovered in the last couple of days. James, I'll get you caught up. We're talking about AI in an article that was circulating today about the intersection of AI and competition and sport. At what point, 50 years, 100 years, 150 years, at what point are we no longer interested in watching humans participate in sport and instead are watching computer simulations go up against, or what, you know what I mean? That whole thing. So AI, how far are we away from AI intersecting with sport and basically taking it over? To that end, I was very skeptical when I read the article today. I was like, yeah, that's not me. But then again, I'm a guy in 2023. My mind is wired for expectations of today. So I can't probably look to the future and go, I wouldn't know. But I've discovered something that I've started watching, and I'm absolutely obsessed with these things. And it is AI. It is AI sports. And I can tell you, all right, here, I'm just going to tell you what it is. And because I want you interested in this, I'm going to show you something. Do you guys play Madden? You play Madden, don't you, James?
Hell yeah.
You love the Madden. Okay. You're not a big Madden guy, and neither am I, but our kids are. Well, I don't know about Dom, but I know my kid's like really big into Madden. So Madden has these simulations. Like Madden, the new Madden, the 2023 Madden has come out. And it's been released, and all of these nerds, I guess, are running these computer simulations, and they have simulated the entire 2023 NFL season. And I have watched the first 2 games of my Chicago Bears 2023 season, and it's amazing because it's guys we drafted 3 weeks ago that we're already seeing in this computer game. We're watching Justin Fields throw to DJ Moore. We're watching, and this is the Bears that I'm watching. We're watching Tremaine Edmonds, who wasn't even on our team until like 2 months ago, sacking Jordan Love. It's incredible. And I'm watching this, and James, I am honestly getting wrapped up in it because I don't know what's going to happen next, because the computer is deciding whether the next play is going for 12 yards or it's going to be a sack. And the computer is deciding that based on the statistics of the players involved. I am obsessed. And I'm wondering if either of you guys are familiar with this. Have you seen this before? Have you watched these on YouTube? James?
First off, I love the Plano shirt making another appearance.
Yeah, I wear my Plano Public Works shirt. I
haven't. Oh my God! Haven't I told the story like 10,000 times on this show about when I took like a computer hardware class at ETBU, and our professor used to walk us through this exercise. They're like, "What are computers going to look like when bandwidth and storage is no longer an issue?" And we all predicted streaming video where everyone gets their own set of commercials. Like each TV gets its own set of commercials based on the crap that you've bought or whatever. Like we all predicted this, and it's amazing how 30 years later, almost, God, I'm old. How much of this stuff has come to pass. So have you not thought about where this is really going to go? Have you really not stretched your brain out? Stretch your brain out. Because what we're going to see is we're going to get to see one-on-one between Michael Jordan and LeBron. And this will settle it for all time.
We're going to see Mike Tyson. We're going to see Mike Tyson fight. We're going to see Mike Tyson fight Joe Louis. We're going to see Muhammad Ali fight Jack Dempsey. I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Look, and if you pay extra for the subscription and you can render your own fights, you'll get to see Mike Tyson fight Conor McGregor just for funsies,
Yeah.
Or okay, so that didn't work out. So what if Mike Tyson fights Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao at the same time?
Right. The sky is the limit.
This is going to be so fun.
It's going to be crazy.
And we all make fun of our kids for watching dumb stuff on YouTube, and they do deserve it. But it's going to get better in the fact that, like, in the same way we all kind of look back at the infancy of hip hop with like the Sugar Hill Gang and Cool Mo D and How You Like Me Now, and it was also corny and crappy. It's certainly morphed into something that we all like now, don't we? Right?
Well, some of us liked it back then.
Well, I know, but for
the Sugar Hill Gang,
I know, but for the early adopters, sure, it turned into something mainstream. And this right now, we're in the early adopter phase, but this is going to widen out in such a way where everyone's going to care. And it doesn't matter. Well, even if you don't care about sports, all right, fine. How would you like to see Slash and Elvis, in the same band? Or how would you like to see Salvador?
Yes, what kind of a song would John Lennon write with Michael Jackson? And then a computer will pump out that song, and it'll have the influences of John Lennon and the influences of Michael Jackson. It'll be incredible.
It'll pump out 20 of those songs and play you a full hour-and-a-half concert right now.
Right. Yes. Yeah. All right. Wait, before we get a little bit too far in, I want E to watch this because I thought this was very interesting.
Does he have any comments on stuff we said so far?
Well, I think the minute that you start to combine machinery that makes decisions, then that's no longer sport. Because it's removed the human element.
Yes, human limitation is why we are attracted to sport, because we understand the limits of what a human athlete
so I think this question, just on its face, if you get into the debate, you're missing it. The fact that there is artificial intelligence, any form of artificial
okay, there he goes.
Artificial intelligence, any form of artificial intelligence is replacing human, and therefore it's not sport.
All right, well, sit back and watch this because I would have felt the exact same way. Although, as I've said, I've now watched 2 Bears games, week 1 and week 2 of next year. By the way, Bears are 2-0. Very excited about that. So at some point, you stop looking at it and going, oh, this is just a computer deciding whether that's they pick up the first down here or not. And you get caught up in it. And why do you get caught up in it? Because it looks so real. If computer graphics and all that stuff were maybe what they were 20 years ago, this wouldn't be something that I would be sold on because it looks so much like I'm watching a Monday Night Football game.
Well, Puck, you've been able to simulate these games for 20 years.
Right. But it's just never looked this good.
And the AI is advancing so well.
Right. All right. So I want to show this to E. I thought he would get a kick out of this. This is the Bills versus the Jets, week 1 of the 2023 season. This is the Monday Night Football game, right? Isn't that it? Don't you guys are opening Monday Night Football? Mm-hmm. Cowboys are opening Sunday Night Football. Bills, Jets are opening Monday Night Football. So here, let's just see
the Lincoln Tunnel
like.
through Weehawken, through Secaucus, across the Hackensack River, and you'll arrive, as we have, at MetLife Stadium at East Rutherford, New Jersey. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets.
All right, we're gonna
the Jets set to take the field.
Aaron Rodgers in a New York Jets uniform. Let's see how he does.
Let me see.
Rodgers is wearing number 8. Hope the Bills could fill that linebacker hole.
Now Hall to start the drive.
They did.
And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. To throw is Rodgers. This one complete to Mecole Hardman.
Picked up the first down on you.
Down, getting this one up to
Should
about
I fast forward? You want to see how Josh does in his
It'll
first
go
series?
as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down.
That was a direct question to you.
Well, I think it's interesting.
The journey to becoming a University of Phoenix student is easier than you might think. There's no
do anything for me.
Well, I honestly think that it would. If you were sitting in your chair watching this on your big screen, maybe not now because you're not really paying attention to it, but I can tell you this is every bit a real football game.
3 yards, but no more than that.
You cannot.
2nd down.
Let me tell you. Let me give you an example.
Now a stoppage here as
we've
got a bill shaken up on the play.
Well, hang on. Let me tell you how this is better than a real football game. There's no commercials. And you can also hit X and skip the boring crap between plays where it just goes from play to play to play to play to play. And you actually get through a whole game in about 25 minutes.
Well, you can, but I like to listen to the whole presentation. I like to hear the play-by-play, and I like to see all the stuff. Hold on. Sorry, that's a little bit too hot. It is so realistic. In one simulation that I watched, on the third play of the very first game for my Chicago Bears, our new wide receiver got injured and left and didn't come back for the entire game. DJ Moore, in a simulation, got injured in the first quarter and didn't come back for the entire game. I watched a play earlier today. It was Bears-Bucks game 2, second game of this year's season. Chase Claypool, Bears receiver, fumbled the ball and the Buccaneers recovered it, right? And I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, shit, there we go. Dude, the coach challenged and it got overturned in a simulation. It's like, what? Weird. All right, here, let's
appear to be the intended target, but they got it to him, and he was able to get just enough to pick up the first.
Looks like Rodgers
what a great example of where we are
right
right now in the NFL, because if you're a running back, you're not just going to carry it. You got to catch it out of the backfield as well. Those combo guys, they're the ones everyone wants on their team.
Man. Able to get this down.
Let's see how this game.
About 4. It's 2nd down.
Look at this, E. The computer does not think you're going to blow out the Jets on Monday Night Football. This is a tight game in the fourth quarter.
Woo! 14-3.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now. Hopefully get to the. That's a big day.
See, here's the deal.
It takes to know each other and execute their blocks.
So
it's pretty
we
impressive.
can watch this, and it's not a real game played by real people, and it doesn't count in the standings or toward, winning the division or whatever. But we can have the real conversation based on this game. Does Aaron Rodgers just automatically make these guys relevant? I'm not saying they're a contender or they're going to win or they're my favorite, but they're not doormats anymore, right?
No, no. Does he make them a contender? Yeah, because the Jets.
2 minutes left, they went ahead.
Yeah, they just scored. The Jets have been absolutely stockpiling talent for 4 years. They just haven't had a quarterback. They screwed around with Darnold, then they screwed around with Wilson. So, they said, you know what? We've got all of this talent on this team. We've had 2 bum quarterbacks. We're going to go all in, and they went and got Rodgers. So, yeah, I think the Jets are going to be good. E, that's your division. What do you think the Jets are going to be this year?
I think they've got a chance to be good because they had a good defense.
2 minutes. Should we watch a Josh Allen simulated 2-minute drive?
Oh, sure. I know we're going to win.
Let's see what the computer says. Hold on.
One play here just north of the 2-minute warning.
Joshy.
Here's the weird part. This is all called Madden. Madden's been dead. And he's still controlling things from the grave. His name lives on.
Yeah.
Throwing on first down is Allen. He's got the hook up with Diggs. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
James, my belief on John Madden is that in 50 years, he'll be the most important and historic name in NFL history because of the Madden game. because of all the generations that associate football with John Madden.
Yeah,
no one's going to remember George Halas. Nobody's going to remember Tom Landry. They're going to remember John Madden.
We weave it back into artificial intelligence. Within 5 years, we have the technology for John Madden to be calling games from here on out.
The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over. The last series.
Here's another one, by the way. Rush Limbaugh's going to be on the air again.
And now they'll try to get better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. First and 10. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Throwing is Allen. He'll find
that looks too easy
on the completion. And they're going to get this down about the 37.
Who's that? Who's 14?
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people
they show you the replays.
Different angles. 3 angles, man.
I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. And I'm going to keep firing.
First down now,
no
but
huddle.
That clock rolling.
It's going to be Davis.
It's caught by Davis. And they're going to get this down inside.
Well, he knows his team.
That was
Haven't
cool.
heard much from him all
Do it
night,
again.
Welcome to the party, making his presence felt in the big
you don't
way.
need
You got to run
though.
to keep him honest.
All night long, but boy, did he find a
You
great
got
time to
timeouts.
bust
You
out.
got timeouts to burn.
Allen trying to hurry everybody up to the line of scrimmage.
A little bump.
Allen. And Diggs
Kincaid.
has it.
Hey, E,
And
you
he's
know what's
gonna mark
interesting
down
about
just
this?
outside the 10.
The computer might be simulating in all of the 2-minute drives that Allen has done, but it also is going to have to factor in all the ones that Aaron Rodgers has done. So,
Now the Bills
if he
will
gets
hustle
the
to
ball
line.
back, just be prepared for the
Here's
computer to be
Allen.
like, well, this is Aaron Rodgers.
Harris has it over the middle.
Right.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Just a
Who's that,
gain of a
Najee Harris?
couple there. And that's going to make it third down
We're
and less than a yard.
running the
A little
clock.
surprised right here. They've got 3
Smart.
timeouts
Right
left.
down.
The clock's running down, and they aren't using them. Those timeouts do you no good at home. Use them now.
Got up.
Allen.
That's the Aaron Rodgers factor.
And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock. So this defense, they looked a little shaky to start the drive, but bottom line, they're a play away from finishing it off.
They rocked them a little bit on this drive, didn't they? But as you and I both know,
An
it's
inch
not
is
how
all
you
we're gonna
start,
get
it's how you
first down.
finish. They have a chance to end it right
You got to
here.
just quarterback sneaking here, right?
Yeah,
it's gotta
running up the middle.
He's Josh Allen. Oh, they
Now
didn't sneak
Allen,
it.
got to have this one.
There he goes.
God.
And a quick throw
All
here,
right,
that's
first down.
complete.
Take that.
Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts. As he'll stop it with 11
You're going
seconds
to leave
remaining
Rodgers
in the
0
ball
time on
game.
the clock.
Yeah,
That's the plan.
that's Kincaid.
Great. You got to say, great clock management by Josh Allen.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a
And
touchdown.
McDermott. Give
And
McDermott
that's what they're
credit.
gunning for on first and goal. To throw is Allen. Flushed. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the offense will get this one back. Boy, that could have been catastrophic at this late stage of the game, but they avoid disaster.
See, it's exciting, isn't it? E?
Yeah.
It kind of works in the off season. There's no games to watch. Kind of interesting.
I was playing
Very
video games
fortunate
earlier.
to
I played
get
soccer.
another shot. Here's
I'd rather watch
second and goal.
I get the appeal. I get the whole thing where my kid watches
One
others play
final
video games.
shot. They'll look to throw.
No! 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 No!
He'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. What a finish to this one. I mean, this offense, they had it down there inside the red zone, but ultimately couldn't execute that
That's a
final
real
snap
game.
to
Josh
find
is
the end
making it
zone.
into the end
Yeah,
zone.
they're
isn't
going
he?
to walk away from this one, and you know what's going to go through their heads the entire time until they get to play again. If we could only have that final snap to do over one more time, maybe with a different play call.
Is that really it? That's
it.
it. That's the game. They lost. Well, I didn't see that coming, E. I did not see your Buffalo Bills losing simulated.
Well, I mean, obviously.
The Cowboys won their opening game. The Cowboys on the simulation, they beat the snot out of the Giants in New York on Sunday Night Football, the opening. I think the Cowboys won like 45 to like 23. My Bears crushed the Packers. opening week. Go ahead.
Time of year where I miss it. This is where I like. Can football go ahead and start now? Can we just start it like a couple months early? Just now.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. That's why I'm so mesmerized by these, because I'm like, wow, this is actually kind of filling my little Jones here. Yay.
Oh, I just don't find it that interesting. Like it irritates me.
I wouldn't either if my team lost.
It irritates me that my team lost.
Yes.
And so I'm not interested.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You're not interested, but I am going to watch. I'm not going to watch like I watch. I'm going to watch all the Cowboys simulated games for next season, and I'm going to watch all the Bears simulated games for next season, and I will track through all the Buffalo games from next season, and I will let you know as we go how they're doing, how the computer says they're doing in 2023.
Oh, but you could go back and do that simulation again, and you could come out with a totally different result.
Yes, you absolutely can. And there are other versions. There are other people who do simulations of that game, and in those games the Bills might win. It's just that one that I picked out, that computer said.
Yeah, so that's just like a probability of this strength versus that strength versus this player's on the field versus that player's on the field, who got taken in, who got taken out, strengths of the offense versus the defense.
Let me tell you something, my friend.
Turnovers.
Let me tell you something, my friend, my Buffalo Bill, my AFC East friend. Let me tell you something. I hope you enjoy having Aaron Rodgers in your division, because I don't think he's done anytime soon. I think he's got at least 4 or 5 more years, and he is going to do things to your soul in the way that he has done things to but you're no stranger to this, because you had Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, bring it. Like we've had Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, would you be afraid if Tom Brady came to your neighborhood?
Well, no, but that's because we had to deal with Brett Favre into Aaron Rodgers. So we know what you're going through with all of a sudden now you've got another guy in your division. Our guy was on the same damn team, so that sucked. We got rid of Brett Favre and we thought, okay, we can handle this new Aaron Rodgers kid. Where'd he go? Cal? And guess what happened? Aaron Rodgers turned out to be even better than Brett Favre. So. Well,
and at least Matt Jones is not turning out to be Tom Brady.
There you go. Mac Jones. Yeah, they might move on from him. They might. We'll see. All right, I got nothing else. James, you got anything else? Anybody else got anything you want to run through here?
Real quick, the year 2006 is just as far away as the year 2040.
Oh my God! What did you just say?
The year 2006 is just as far away as 2040.
E, can you wrap your mind around that?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for yes-anding.
Well, it's really good then. That's it. Try it.
Well, I mean, what's hard to like reference back and forward?
Maybe because we don't own 348 weed plants. We don't.
Maybe we're impressed by things that you're not impressed by. That was kind of interesting to us.
Well, you think like, okay, so I would say 1963.
Yeah, I guess maybe when you're 60 years old. You're not that impressed by the passage of time, like us children, James and myself are, being so much younger.
It all sounds like.
Hey, James, I do have a question for you, though, before we get you out of here. I did want to bring this up. So I told you I'm re-binging because of my kid and stuff. Well, I'm re-binging Friday Night Lights, right? So I'm just because he and I now we're gonna watch episodes from time to time. We don't have to do it now because we got to get out of here. But I want to do a segment where I talk to you, a proud citizen of Bug Tussle. I want to talk to you about some of the things that I'm seeing on Friday Night Lights that just seem so foreign to me as someone who was raised in a big city. For someone who was, I have questions about things that apparently went on at Dillon High School in old Bug Tussle West. That I can't imagine. Like, for instance, can I just start with one question?
Yeah.
Are rally girls a real thing? Rally girls?
Well, they're not called rally girls. It's usually called Pep Squad or Pom Squad or Pom Squad or.
Oh, we all have Pom Squad and all that stuff. But Friday Night Lights has a completely different wing of girls who are not on the pom poms or cheerleaders, who are rally girls, and their deal is they have to basically be the slave to the football player that they're assigned to.
No, that's not
sex slave too, if that's something that the player wants.
No, that's definitely not a thing. But I think that was the closest analog. And the big sin of Friday Night Lights and their accurate attempt at accurately portraying the life in Bug Tussle. It's like they left out the things they left out, like homecoming moms. Are y'all familiar with homecoming moms? Have we gone through this before?
Yeah, those ridiculously large, silly things.
Like
I don't think they ever did that.
Entire chest or whatever, but they don't do stuff like that in Friday Night Lights. And there's a few other big things that they leave out that if you want to do a deep dive, that's more of what I would point out is the stuff they just don't know because it was outsiders coming in trying to figure it out within 6 months.
Okay, my second Friday Night Lights question, James. Are 16-year-old sophomore girls in Bug Tussle, do they all look like 25-year-old Maxim models? Because
hell no, good
Friday Night
God,
Lights,
no, God, right? Tyra Collette or whatever, yeah.
James, Tyra Collette is the best-looking high school student in the history of high school students. I am so all up in Tyra Collette right now.
Tyra Collette must have failed 9 times in order to still be a sophomore and be 24 or whatever she is.
Can we talk about Minka Kelly? Can we talk about
Lila Garrity at 26? Yes.
Oh my God. Look at her. She's 16 years old. She's supposed to be 16. In real life.
When is this?
This is like she was probably 23, 24 here. She was banging Derek Jeter while she's making this movie or this TV show.
He's giving her the goodie bag.
Look at this. This is the hottest high school student of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, a sophomore. This is a 15-year-old Tyra Collette from Friday Night Lights.
She's 15?
Well, she's supposed to be. That's another.
No, she's not.
Right.
15.
No, she's 25. There she is again. This is not a 15-year-old girl. That's not a 15-year-old Tyra Collette.
She looks divorced in that picture.
She looks absolutely divorced. She looks like, she looks like she's in a couple 12-step programs. There she is again with Landry. All right, so the last question that I have about the whole Friday Night Lights thing, James. Boop, there we go. Oh, I'm sorry. I accidentally got rid of James. I wanted to get rid of this. Are you familiar with the backstory on Friday Night Lights? Like, do you know who wrote Friday Night Lights? Do you know who popularized the phrase Friday Night Lights? Do you know who is considered the, greatest expert in Texas high school football history that there is going out there?
I had read the book long before the TV show came out.
So you know Bissinger. You know Buzz Bissinger.
Well, I don't know him, but
you're familiar with him,
right? And I'd also read the book before the movie came out, and so there was a movie Friday Night Lights that came out way before this did, and I had read the book before the movie had come out. Not that I'm like a guy who reads books and I'm bragging about it.
No, dude, I read the book. The book was awesome. The book came out in 89, something like that. The book was great.
Yeah, and dude, the book came out at a time. Like my high school out in Bug Tussle, original Bug Tussle, not the one I'm in now, won the state championship in 1989. And so if you want to talk about, I was 12. So a 12-year-old kid getting swept up to where this dinky town of 614 people ends up playing in Texas Stadium twice and then in like every awesome stadium in the state just to make it to the Astrodome for the state finals where there's like TV cameras there. Like we've never seen a freaking TV. No one cares about our games, right? And so to go through that experience when I was in 7th grade and we freaking won, and then Friday Night Lights comes out, it's just it's so cool, to read the book. And then the movie was pretty good, and then the TV show was better than the movie.
Oh, did you think I thought the movie was great. I thought the movie was terrific. I thought the TV show was great too, but I make a big distinction between the TV show and the movie are two very different things to me.
Well, the movie was great until the very end when they made the end game all about race or whatever. Like Dallas Carter didn't want a neutral side or whatever. And I kind of knew what the real story was. And I had been pre-warned, like this isn't, they fabricated a fantasy ending. That's not, here's the real story.
Do you know that a mutual friend of ours, actually a better friend of yours, actually played in the game that is depicted in Friday Night Lights? And that would be our friend Greg Hill. Greg Hill was a running back for the team that won. Arlington or Dallas. No, I think in the movie it was Dallas Carter, but in real life
it was Carter.
No, in the movie, but in real life I think it was Arlington something. It was some school in real life. They changed for some reason. It was a different school in the movie than actually.
See, that was part of the thing. Like, why did you have to make some sort of fantasy? And it's the same thing they did at the end of Remember the Titans. Like, Remember the Titans, the Denzel Washington or whatever. And it in the state championship game, of course, every football game and every movie comes down to the last play. But in the real life, that game was 28-0.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't quite
right.
Well, here's what I wanted to point out, which I think is really interesting. So this guy is the lauded expert of Texas high school football. Wrote for it, Friday Night Lights, popularized for the nation the term Friday Night Lights. It's never been heard outside of Podunk, Texas until that point. And I'm just wondering if like the typical Texas high school football Bubba knows that the guy that they all look up to is a trans individual. Is that something that's widely known about Buzz Bissinger? That he is a trans, actually, to be technically clear, he's a gender fluid guy. But isn't that an odd little thing that the guy who is like the biggest in, Friday Night Lights, the guy who popularized Texas high school football to a national audience, wears makeup and hot pants with fishnets. That's your guy. I think that's weird.
I didn't know that until just now.
This
is all new information to me.
He looks like a gay rock.
I don't think he's gay. That's the thing. I don't think he's gay. I just think he's very complicated. He's got some very odd,
fetishes.
I don't know if they're odd. I mean, but let's just say that he's not your typical, here.
Well, it's okay to say odd for something that is only practiced by 2% of the population. And it's not meant as an insult or to make you a less than or an other than. It's, but it is odd. It's not normal.
Here's some other pictures of him in his many different looks.
Well, he's a great writer.
There you go. Oh, he's a terrific writer. Look at him there. He thinks he's a rock star, though. I think he thinks he's Boy George. Look at him there. What is that? That's your Texas high school football expert right there.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
There he definitely looks like he's wearing lipstick.
Well, because he definitely is wearing lipstick. Yeah, he's dressed in.
On to him, Emil. You got him.
You got him. Here he looks normal though. He can, he's sometimes.
Are you saying the lipstick is abnormal?
Yes, I am. For a man, yeah. And so
as I'm saying, if you go out and you wear lipstick as a man, is there any shade which it's not abnormal?
No.
No. And look, this is the left equivalent of that dickhead who is at the bus stop with the AR. It's like, yes, you're free to do whatever you want. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you're pissing people off though. So I don't know if it's having the effect that you think it's having. But you know what? You go.
So if you saw a man with lipstick on,
I wouldn't care.
Would that immediately make you think that he was feminine?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. We're looking at pictures now of him and his buddy. Look at how much bigger Caitlyn Jenner. Look how much bigger Caitlyn Jenner is than Buzz Bissinger.
Wow. Okay.
It's crazy. Holy cow. Well, I guess Caitlyn's wearing heels.
Well, is Buzz Bissinger a Olympic decathlete?
Yeah.
Is he holding a Truly?
No, he's holding a book. This is looks like they're doing a book thing. Bissinger wrote Caitlyn Jenner's Call Me Caitlyn. The book where she announced to the world or whatever, that whole thing.
You know what? That's probably a good book. Like if you gave that to me, I would read it.
Yeah, he's a good writer.
I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's going on. Really? I'm not going to understand it, but I'd like to hear what you're saying.
Look at the picture of these two walking down the street. Look at the size. Did you realize that Caitlyn Jenner was that big?
No and no.
No, I wouldn't have thought Bruce Jenner was that big. I thought Bruce Jenner was like, 5'10", 180 pounds. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe this is just a little guy on the left. Maybe he's like a 5'4" fella.
Maybe that's possible.
If you think like that person,
that's a super athlete
on the right used to be
the greatest athlete on earth.
A dude on the Wheaties box.
The decathlon winner, a 2-time gold medal winner in the decathlon, the most difficult Olympic.
And you think about all the mornings you spent there with Wheaties and milk in a bowl envisioning yourself as a potential gold medal winner.
What happened?
For this then to be the end of the movie that you're now plugging into your mind.
Well, it's an interesting movie.
You can thank God for unanswered dreams.
Well, you know what I always think is interesting about this, James? Bruce Jenner became, and I'm talking about the dead name Bruce Jenner, but like I said, I'm going to talk about the dead named Bruce Jenner because you know what? Caitlyn seems to be living off of Bruce Jenner's money. So I don't know if he's dead completely, but he's certainly not dead when Caitlyn Jenner is cashing checks at the bank because that's all money that Bruce Jenner made over 40 or 50 years of being Bruce Jenner. The Cold War was a big thing. So when in 76, when Jenner won and defeated the unbeatable Russians, the Soviets, in the decathlon, it became a very big moment in Cold War history. That's why Bruce Jenner became such a celebrated American, because there were these geopolitical sort of other things going on.
Well, can I do like a
But wait, hold on. Let me just finish this and then you can have it. So to have what E just said, to have Caitlyn Jenner go from, or have this person go from being Bruce Jenner, who defeated the mighty Soviets in the decathlon, to this, how do you think the Soviet runner who lost to Bruce Jenner feels now? Like, you think he's like, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Not only did I lose to an American, but I lost to an American who doesn't even want to be a man. I lost to an American who is confused about what their gender is. I just find that fascinating. I'd like to talk to that guy.
Yeah, I guarantee you his his cocktail swagger has changed.
Worst silver medal ever.
There we go.
So check. Yeah, that's the guy to think about. That's the guy to think about is the Russian that he beat, because when we were going through the Cold War in the Olympics, every 4 years, it was this interesting, like, we didn't know that we were going to win out in the end. We didn't know we were going to win the Cold War. And it just made so much sense that if you had some, technocratic oligarchy that was taking the greatest athletes from age 6 and plugging them into this government sponsored 24/7 training facility where they're taken away from their parents and they're sent to the Olympic Village to train for the day that is coming up, and you're going to go against Bruce Jenner, who this guy who happens to have rich parents so they can afford some personal trainers. And he's just a really dedicated kid, and he's not sent to any forced government training camp with the greatest coaches.
Right, Siberia at 5 years old to learn how to throw a javelin.
Right. So not only does the central planning at the government level fail so hard, they couldn't even beat this guy who was at the entire time who's like, as soon as this contest is over, we get some implants.
James, we were spoiled bloodlines. The American genetics were a mess. There was no way the American genetics could compete with pure Soviet exceptionalism. That's what the whole idea was over there. They were Drago from the Rocky movie. This unbeatable machine. That's who they told the world they were. And then Bruce Jenner smoked them. And then 30 years later, that guy who lost to Bruce Jenner is probably at a cocktail party, and a buddy goes, "Hey, the guy who beat you is a woman now?" He was like, "What?"
Yeah, well, he's probably like, I got silver medal, but at least I still have dick.
Right. Yeah, at least I still have dick. Al says, so you guys don't think that Bruce Jenner wasn't getting the attention that he was getting when he was an Olympic athlete? So he did something shocking to get the attention again. So Al is suggesting that Bruce Jenner maybe just wanted attention, so that's why he decided to become a woman. I think that is absurd. I think that Bruce Jenner, at the time that he announced that he was transitioning, was more famous than he had ever been. Bruce Jenner did like a couple variety shows in the 70s. By the time he was ready to transition, he was a star of the #1 most watched show in America. The Kardashians made Bruce Jenner a bigger star than he had been in decades. So no, he wasn't looking for attention when he made the switch. He was in the spotlight.
Yeah, I mean, I get Al's thought process. Did it just get so easy and so plentiful that you just got tired of that and decided, well, hey, I'll go a different direction.
Stupid. And no offense to you or Al, but that's stupid. People don't just decide, well, I'm looking for something exciting. Let's change genders. This is obviously something that's been going on with him for a long time. I don't think that he did it just because he wanted to upstage Kim Kardashian. I think that this was a real thing. And
well, be careful here, not to be too nuanced, but I'm sure there are some people who are doing this solely to get attention, or for the wrong purposes. But we do not assume that's what the norm is, nor for Bruce Jenner / Caitlyn in particular. Right?
Not only do I not believe that's the norm, but I would push back on your contention that people are having sex changes for attention.
No one has done it for attention.
No, I don't believe there's a doctor in the country that would do that. This is still a very... Oh, well, wait a second. We're talking about the full-on sex change. You're talking about, like, Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner hasn't had the full-on sex change. So you're talking about people just decide, I'm going to go around as a woman now. Yeah, I agree with you, James. There's probably are a bunch of those people who are just doing it for attention. But if you're talking about actually going through the surgery and all that, I think that's a pretty serious...
That's a tough one,
or not only for the attention. Well, I guess it is for the attention. I mean, I could see him being so...
What is going on with you? Are you dying?
I don't know.
What the hell?
I could see them being so lonely that maybe they decide, like, okay, I'm not being accepted by the other group, so I'm going to try to assimilate to this group, which these guys are my support group when I'm trying to go to the other.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
How do you go from one team to the other team sexually is what we're talking about.
Right. So let's not be myopic and let's understand that we're not in the heads of other people. But from our points of view, it does seem rather drastic.
But I do think if you're just not sexual with the other gender because maybe they're not attracted to you, that you might fall into the, I'm going to choose a guy or I'm going to choose a girl if you're a girl.
All right. Look,
because you've got more friends that are girls and it's easier to come by because you're around girls.
I think,
or around guys.
I think that there was a tidal wave of feminine Kardashian stuff that he probably had to put up with for about 20 years, and I think he got caught up in it. I think maybe that was part of him being a little bit more comfortable with coming to the place where he eventually came to, which is becoming a woman. But I don't know. That's a big dude. I didn't realize how big Caitlyn Jenner was. It's a big chick. Huge. Good night, everybody. All right, there we go. That's going to do it for us tonight. There goes E. There goes James. I am Pugs. Join me back tomorrow at noon for the High Noon Show. Hot topics, current events, trends, all the good stuff. All that stuff that you need to know. Not divisive. We don't do divisive political stuff, although sometimes we do. I say we don't because I don't want to scare people off, but sometimes we do. I got on a bit of a rant today. I was listening back to the show and I was like, I want to fix that rant. I don't love that rant. But it's out there. That's the thing. 3.5 hours. Did 3.5 hours today. Remember, I told you why. Because Friday's show is going to be kind of truncated. Friday's show, we're going to do a show from noon to 1. And then I'm going to sign off the show at 1. And then I got something else that I need to do with James. And then I'm thinking I'll come back. At like whenever we're done with that. So that's why I did a little 3.5 hour thing tonight or today. And I'm a little manic. I told you, it's been a crazy week. I'm doing all this stuff. Mania makes me a little, it makes me be able to do a stream of consciousness noon show. I'm hearing sirens. Hope the house isn't on fire. The Mania allows me to do 3.5 hours without a break of just blah, 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 blah. Anyway, join me tomorrow. We'll do another supersized show, I think, because I feel really guilty about Friday. Bye, everybody. Love you. See you tomorrow. You're the best.